So we have one of the best backgrounds we've ever had. We've had a lot of cool places that we've been. We've been rock crawling, we've been shooting, we've been hunting. Here we are, sitting here in the middle of Alaska. I mean, literally in the middle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like dead center in Alaska, in the middle of nowhere, right on the Yukon River. Mr. Nathan Lewis, we just appreciate you putting this together, inviting us out, having the balls to invite us without really knowing us that much.
Thank you.
So it was a Zoom call, what, in January?
Yeah, I know, a while back.
I think it was that first or second Zoom call. They said, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, and everything you said, we've done.
That's true.
Thanks for giving us an opportunity to get in a really, really, really cool hunting event with everybody, and the invite out here, using your contacts to put this together. And wasn't easy. It seemed like it was gonna be easy, but then it's straight up shit show for what? Right at the very tail end. Everything just went completely crazy, but it all came together, and here we are. You had a very, very successful career there with what you were working on. You were very focused on the career. You probably set aside some other choices in life to focus there. So how was it you got out here the first time?
Oh, how much time do you have?
Cliff notes.
So I was doing some research. I optioned a couple of books, some true stories during World War II, Castner's Cutthroats. And so I came out to do some research on what it was like to be an Alaska Scout in the late 30s, early 40s, and kind of understand the native lifestyle, what it was like. It's changed a lot since 1939 or 40. Well, there's a lot of things that are still similar, but there's cell phones now.
Oh, cell phones and four-wheelers and things
There's
like
certain things like that, but they do have a lot of the same traditions. I think we've been hanging out with some guys the last couple of days, and I think they said, my dad taught me this, and their dad taught them that.
Well, they're extremely efficient people. I mean, and whatever's in front of them, they will find a way to make it work, which is awesome. So I think we've lost that in most of the world, that we get to be around.
So you came up to do some research.
I came up to do some research. I spent a total of about 137 days total up here.
What was the hardest part about that?
Of doing 100 and some days?
Yeah, I mean, just being up here and really, truly, disconnecting from everything.
So there's a lot of hard parts, but there's also a lot of things that were invaluable. So the hardest part was probably being alone, no doubt. I've never been alone that long. After being alone for a long time and you don't have any more thoughts.
We talked about this.
I had a little bit of a mental breakdown.
Hang on a second. You said, I don't have any more thoughts.
You can only think so much.
You really got to just zero in on that. I don't think if a person just says you don't have any more thoughts, that's a really, really, really big statement. That's an amazing statement for you to say, I don't have any more thoughts. You've literally thought everything you can think of at that point.
You've thought it out. You've had way too much time by yourself, and all you do when you're by yourself is think about things, about everything. I mean, lay down at night, you're thinking about something, you're thinking about this, what are you going to do the next day, how am I going to stay warm, where am I going to get food, thinking about this, and then it's just, I wonder what my parents are doing, my friends, and then all of a sudden you've thought about it all, and you run out of thoughts. And then it's just quiet.
Yeah.
And then you're just there by yourself. But then you start to go into yourself and start to discover certain things. And not that it was scary, but it was scary for me. I had a little bit of a mental breakdown because I'd never been alone that long, and I'm a pretty social person, or I was until this point. But to answer the real question is, what changed for me is I truly realized that I did not want to live alone the rest of my life. And I was almost 40, just a few years before 40 when I made that decision, and I was like, man, maybe I should shift my thinking, Thank God I did. It was perfect timing, not long after I met my wife, and we ended up getting married and have kids now. But I knew the whole time, like, this was probably my last hurrah, not knowing that I was about to run into one of the biggest life-changing events. It's still, to this day, the greatest moment, other than the birth of my kids and being married, the greatest moment of my life.